Behind every great man
is a great, confident, exceptional woman.
Hi, and welcome to Behind Every Great Man. I am Jessica, your host. This episode is her effort, his income, our partnership. Behind every great man is a great woman who knows her contribution is just as valuable in their partnership. Today we're talking about money. This can be one of the most uncomfortable conversations to have in your relationship, at least for me anyway. And for so many of us, it isn't just about dollars and cents, it's security, it's safety, it's worth. And for the woman who isn't bringing home a paycheck like me, whether you're home with kids, building a home, supporting a husband with a demanding job, or simply in a season where you've stepped away from work, money can bring up many emotions. For me, that emotion was guilt. Even though I was creating a home, managing our home, supporting a demanding schedule behind the scenes, supporting the life we were building, home with our son, I still had this quiet voice whispering, "You're not earning. It's not your money. It's his money. You didn't earn it, and you're just spending." And I believed that for a long time. If you've ever caught yourself saying, "I don't make any money, it's his money," or you hesitated to buy something or felt guilty because it's not, quote, your money, you're not alone. I'd feel guilty spending money like I shouldn't be doing this right now. That voice made me defensive, especially when we'd sit down together to look at bills. I'd scroll through the credit card charges, and I felt the need to explain each one, like, oh, that one right there, that's expensive. That was an Amazon order. That was for our son. That's Instacart. That was groceries for the week. That one, that charge is high. That was something for the kids. My husband never once asked me to justify a single thing. He never asked me to explain, not even the higher ticket items. Why did I feel the need to do this? Somewhere deep down, I felt if I didn't earn it, I had to explain why I spent it. And that belief, that subtle, quiet, internalized story is what we're going to talk about today, because this episode really isn't about money. It's about value. It's about worth. According to the Pew Research Center, 55% of U.S. marriages today still have a husband who is the primary or sole breadwinner. Only 16% of households have a wife who earns more. That means millions of women are still living in this dynamic, managing, creating, holding the home without collecting the paycheck that funds it. And yet, those same women are doing the majority of what researchers now call invisible labor. I talked about that in another podcast episode. The emotional load she's carrying, the mental checklists, the coordinating, the remembering, the planning, the anticipating, the things that keep a home from falling apart. Partnership isn't about who brings home the paycheck. It's about knowing that in partnership, both of you are bringing value to the table. You're both supporting the home. You're both keeping the life moving forward. Because every dollar he earns is then multiplied by you, by the peace, the order, and the support that you're creating. That is partnership. Over the past 8 years, my husband and I have had more conversations about money than I can even count. Some were really hard. Some were really healing for me, but it took time to understand that the work I do at home, the emotional labor, that invisible labor, the energy it takes to keep everything moving, it matters. It's valuable even though I don't get a paycheck for it. Over time, these open and honest conversations helped us build a deeper trust and understanding of what partnership really means. And today, my husband Keith is going to join me so we can share both sides. The woman's experience of wanting to feel valued without a paycheck, and the man's role in helping her feel seen, secure, and respected in that space. And I'll say this, my husband has been one of the biggest reasons I've been able to internalize that truth. He's made me feel like my name is on that paycheck too. So let's bring him in to share his perspective, because his words and his mindset have shaped the way I see contribution, value, and partnership in our marriage. Hi, babe.
Hi.
This is a topic that I really wanted you to speak into because this is something that I have struggled with for many years, and you've really helped me and supported me to evolve in my thinking about my contribution in this relationship. So just a couple things that I wanted you to speak into, and then you can just run with it.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, what's on my heart to ask you is, when I first told you that I wasn't contributing because I didn't earn a paycheck, what went through your mind, and were you surprised that I felt that way, or did you understand immediately?
My reaction was heartbreak. Like, it broke my heart that you would feel that way, but I definitely understand. I think, we live in a society in which, income and earning potential is how we measure people. But that's not why I married you, and I don't think that's why you married me. I think the coming together in a marriage and a relationship, you marry the whole person, and you go in eyes wide open. And your goal is to create a partnership, a true total partnership. You don't get married because of someone's W-2, nor do I marry a woman because of her earning potential. You marry somebody because of the partnership that you can build. And that partnership is in every aspect of your life. It's not just selective of, okay, I'm going to marry somebody because they make a great mom, or I'm going to marry someone because they know how to cook. You marry someone for a holistic partnership potential. And within that partnership potential, you have to have eyes wide open on everything. And I had eyes wide open on everything. I wanted to be married to somebody that made me better. I wanted to be married to somebody that made me strive to be great at what I do, whether it's father, husband, CEO, employee, brother, son, whatever it is. I wanted someone to help me to be the best person I can be. So anything that we do is a complete partnership, and that includes money. Like, everything about our relationship, everything in our marriage is mutual. Even though my name's on the paycheck, I am able to come to work because of the work you do. It's not as if I leave and Jude's home alone all day and I have to stress about that, or a dentist appointment, I have to leave work to go take him. I come home and the groceries are in the cupboard in the refrigerator and there's food on the stove. Like, that doesn't happen magically. That's a partnership that I come in and I do a job and I earn the paycheck. But that ability to do the job and earn that paycheck is so equally predicated on all the work you do to help me do that without stress, without any impact to my daily work routine. It's all made possible because of the partnership. So even though my name is on the paycheck, it would be unfair for me to claim the complete paycheck because somehow I worked those 8 hours a day. Those 8 hours a day that I work for the money is actually supported by you working 12 to 15 hours a day at home to make sure that I come home and it's not stressful. My days are not interrupted. That's incredibly valuable.
I so appreciate that. And you've always taken that stance with me. What do you say to the women that have a hard time and it's challenging to see their contribution as equal to a paycheck coming in?
Look at everything holistically. Look at everything from the full partnership perspective. People tend to get myopic on the paycheck because it's an objective number. So women would say, well, my husband goes out and he works and he makes X number of dollars a month. And I don't make a paycheck, so I earn $0 a month. It's the same thing as saying, well, our son grows up and he goes off to play sports at Duke on a full scholarship. I'm going to take equal credit in that, even though that was your job mostly throughout the days that I was at work earning the paycheck. So it's not about the money involved on the paycheck itself. It's about seeing the total value of the partnership. The total value of the partnership, sure, has money coming in and that's earned by the breadwinner, But the things that are developed in the partnership go way beyond money. And it's the things that you're doing today that will reap massive rewards. Money's a reward, but so is having a healthy child, having a healthy home life, having a healthy marriage, having a healthy relationship. That has massive rewards, way more than money. And so for anybody to think that somehow the paycheck is off limits, anytime there's drama, anytime there's an issue between you and me, trust me, my income ability is hit big time. I don't just come to work if there's a problem, if we're in having a disagreement. I don't just come to work and I'm the same person. You have an impact on my paycheck. You have an impact on how much money I make. You have an impact on my career. It's not a separation of church and state in this. You have a material impact on my ability to be comfortable and earn, to leave the house in the morning and feel like I can conquer the world. And I do, and I make a lot of money doing it. Just like if we were not getting along and something was wrong, that I would go to work hamstrung. I would go to work stressed. I would go to work not complete. And that would be a downward trend in my ability to earn money. So the equal sign of the paycheck, you have a massive impact on it. So why can't you claim that it is equally yours? And women should know that. It's about whether your husband or whether your spouse ever admits, oh, it's 50-50. I mean, some men just aren't wired like that. I can totally appreciate that. But women should not doubt that they're in a full partnership. Women should not for 1 second feel guilty or bad. That's what broke my heart about you, was that you somehow thought that that's what I would want, or somehow our relationship could be distilled down into a paycheck number. And it is so much more than that to me. The money is actually such a small part of our partnership. It's the least thing I can do to contribute that to our partnership.
What's a piece of advice you can give to the woman that is in the relationship that her husband just doesn't see it this way?
It's about confidence. What is going on in the world and what's going on in your heart and mind are two different things. They don't have to be the same. So I can't.
What do you mean?
Well, you can't control what your husband thinks. And by the way, if you married him, again, it comes back to the partnership is you go into marriages eyes wide open and you love someone because they're financially responsible. You love someone because they make a lot of money. You love someone because they have a great career. And maybe you just didn't check further to go, hey, I don't have a career. I don't have a paycheck and I want to be a stay-home mom and build a great home and have great children and handle all of the home care. And then be able to have that conversation around, I won't have a paycheck, but how do we want to look at finances? If you haven't had that level of conversation, which most women probably haven't, then the next most important thing is that you stand in confidence and know that you're valuable, period. Regardless of whether that paycheck is actually split or the mentality is that your finances are 50-50. Like I said, the world, you can't control what the world's doing, but you can control how you view yourself. And my message is, first of all, to men, it's foolish to think that you are somehow the sole breadwinner because your wife can make your life hell if she wanted to. And as a matter of fact, in divorce, trust me, I'm experienced in this, that half of it is gone whether you like it or not. So rather than hold this false sense of 100% of the paycheck is my worth, by just letting that go and saying, look, let's work together. This is a full partnership. You will avoid the divorce court in which you don't get a vote and half of it will be taken. But I think everybody will just be happier because if you truly love your wife, like I adore you, it broke my heart to hear that that's how you viewed your value in this partnership, because there is so much more than income. There's so much more than generating dollars. As a matter of fact, the whole concept of people basing their worth on dollars versus how good of a parent, husband you are is, I think, the reason why we're in the society we're in. Our GDP goes up every year, but so does the divorce rate and juvenile crime. So there's just a point where the world cannot be about dollars. It cannot be about income. It can't be about earning potential. That we have to take a step back and we have to acknowledge our worth. We have to acknowledge our value. And we have to be in partnership with our spouses that says we're attacking the world together. And the rewards of our partnership, whether it's financial or healthy children, are both massive rewards that we both share in. And we should share it.
This is speaking to women coming from many different positions right now. Women that just have left the workforce and are now home and they were getting their paycheck. Now they're not. Or the women that have been home this whole time, or the women that need to go back to work. There's so many different women that we're speaking to right now with regard to this. But I think what you're saying is universal.
It's universal. It's about self-worth. No matter if it was a joint decision that you and your husband came to and said, I'm going to go back home to raise our children, because that matters, right? Paychecks are spent in a matter of days and weeks. Children's issues are felt for generations. So it's even the value you create is generational value versus transactional dollars. So even in my mind, the value created by women in the home is so much bigger. By the way, even in society, GDP versus juvenile crime rates, right? I mean, there are two different issues hitting society, and you're dealing with them in two different ways. And these stay-home moms, regardless of whether it was voluntary and you get to make that choice, that's great, or it's something you just choose to do and it's hard, right? You go from two incomes to one, but you're making that choice. Both of you are making the choice that it's not about, and I hear this all the time, oh, she's on scholarship. That drives me fucking crazy.
You've said that many times.
It drives me crazy because men, the first thing they do when they get home is complain, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to run after the kid. Well, you've been doing it all day. If it's that easy, why can't you do it when you come home? It's hard.
Yes.
It's hard. It's not that, oh, you get to stay home. Sure, you get to stay home, but it's not easy. It's hard. So therefore, I'm honest with you. There are days in my office where I don't work as hard as you do. Like it's a facade that guys leave and they somehow go to some job. And there are guys that work really hard, I'm sure, but not everybody. So let's just be realistic about effort and return. So women, regardless of how you chose to do it or what your motivations were, it should still be the same self-confidence. It should still be the same peace in your relationship, that whether it's surplus and you can do it and there's no impact to your income, or you make the decision and there's an impact to your income. Both sides of the partnership have to make that decision and live comfortably in it. And that it is all a sacrifice, it's all work, and it's all reward. That somehow one half is not working harder, there's a bigger reward, and somehow there's also some level of control. That's the false part of the partnership that I think for us, I want to make sure never creeps into our relationship. What you do and what we do together is done together, no matter what that is, whether Jude turns out to be the next Nobel Prize winner and we both celebrate that, or I get a massive pay raise and I bring home a big paycheck and we celebrate that. To me, they're both celebrations of hard work, and they're both celebrations of things that we do together in our partnership.
Thank you so much for speaking into that. And then just one last question on this. What do you hope our kids learn from the way we handle and talk about money?
There's I'm a big fan of your podcast, so I'm available anytime.
Hey, thank you.
The topics you talk about, I think, are so important and so critical. Money's just one of them, but every part of the relationship has really hard topics to talk about. Money just happens to be one of them, but it's still indicative of what I hope our kids learn from our overall partnership. The way we talk about money, the way we talk about our priorities, the way we resolve hard problems, the way we talk about things in front of our children. I hope they see two people that unconditionally love each other above anything else. I hope they see that they have a father that adores their mother and that their father values nothing over the marriage. I hope they see what real men should do, which is to embrace, care, support, adore their wives, and do anything they can to serve her. And I hope they see that there are topics that sometimes are hard to deal with, but the reality is that if you have a healthy partnership and you find a healthy partner to settle down with and to build a life with, those topics are not hard. And then the final piece is I want to raise our children that it's not about money, that there are so many things that are so much more important than money. There are some things that are so much more important than your earning potential, and things like happiness, things like love, things like peace, things like mental health, EQ, right? There's so many things that are so much more important than your ability to earn money that I hope they see in both how we communicate to each other, how we treat each other, and how we talk. How much I getting paid?
I gotta pay you? Thank you for coming on and joining us, and I'll see you at home.
Absolutely. I look forward to that.
Here's what I've learned through all of this. The most valuable things you give to your home can't be measured. They're not hourly. They don't accrue interest. They're priceless. The patience, the love, the energy that keeps your family grounded. Let's take just a moment for our weekly pause. Whatever you're doing, just take a moment for you. Take a deep breath in. And let it out slowly. I want you to ask yourself this question. What is one thing I bring to my home that money could never buy? Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's consistency or love. Whatever it is, hold that close to you today, because that is your contribution. That is your worth. That's love in action. Behind every great man is a great woman who knows her contribution is just as valuable in their partnership. Thanks for taking the time to join me in listening to this podcast episode. You can find more episodes of Behind Every Great Man on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if this spoke to you, please subscribe and share it with your girlfriends. Thanks again, and please join me on the next episode.